In this video, I'll share 7 things I wish I knew before I started university, and not only would it have changed my university experience, but also my life afterwards. Let's start with the first point. Now, 15 to 20 years ago, the job market was very different. You could pretty much just get a very good paying career with just a degree, but nowadays that is totally not the case. Graduates are required to have so much more experience and knowledge in their respective fields, and the job market is demanding that from them. And especially with things like AI advancement and other things, that's just made the whole job market a lot more competitive. And how do I know this? It's because for the past 3 years I've been trying to get a job into tech, and it's been very difficult for me. And I've had to go through numerous interview stages only to realize that things are much more harder than they really should be. By the way, just saying that this is mainly for careers, not for a normal job. If you are looking for a normal job, they are still competitive, but they're slightly more easier than getting a career. And you could always go to the job center after you finish your graduation, which is something I've done myself. One way you can overcome this issue is while you're at university, start doing internships. Look for any part-time roles and always be on the lookout for opportunities that will allow you to gain more experience. Experience is the number one thing that people are looking for. I would say more so than the knowledge. They just want to know that they're able to rely on someone very knowledgeable in their field but also has experience. Wherever you can get an internship, do it, because it will help you much more later on, and it will give you so much more to write on your CV and talk about when you do go to an interview. Which leads me on to my second point, which is don't just focus on a good grade. Now, this might sound counterintuitive, but if you're just focusing on studying all the time, not only will it get boring, but it will lead to a burnout at some point. You need to give yourself something else to do aside just studying all the time. And one thing I would recommend you to do is to start on a hobby. It could be drawing, it could be learning a language, learning how to make things, which is something I've been doing recently, and there are so many other high income skills. Like if you just look online, you'll find them, and you'll notice that not only does this help you to develop on a certain skill, it will also help you to, look forward to something else. When you're done with studying for the day, you can just unwind and focus on something else, and it will just be like a creative outlet for yourself. And also, learning a hobby gives you much more opportunity to learn about yourself, and I can't stress this enough. When you are at that age, when you're younger, it's so beneficial to learn whatever you can about yourself, and it also gives you some structure to your day, which is something that is very important when you are at university. This is something I didn't do, and I really regret it. I wish I picked up on a hobby, and by now I probably would have gotten so good at it, so don't make that mistake. The third point I want to talk about is saving your money. Now, when you're at university, it is really tempting to want to buy different things. You've been given money from your student loans, you've been gifted money from your family, and you want to spend it on whatever you want. But the thing is, chances are you would probably buy a lot of things that you don't really need. And we've all been guilty of that. You're just much better off saving that money and just keeping it for a rainy day. Because when you finish university, the last thing you want is to not have any money in your bank account, because it plays a lot on your mental health and your confidence as a person. Just having to be reliant on someone all the time and just knowing you can't really buy anything for yourself, it's a really sucky position to be in. And when I finished university, I barely had any money in my account, and I'm speaking from experience here, so make sure you're saving as much money as possible. Maybe keep a ratio of like 70 to 30 or 80 to 20, whatever suits you, but make sure you do have some money saved by the time you finish graduating. Now let's move on to learning how to manage your time. And this is such an underrated skill. When you finish graduating and you have a normal job, knowing how to manage your time is one of the best skills you can have for yourself. And the reason why I say this is because it will allow you to do multiple things at once. You don't want to just focus on studying all the time and not really doing much else. You want to learn how to pick up on different things that you enjoy doing, and just being able to manage all of that at once. You don't want, by the time it comes to exams, you're just focusing on studying. If you had done everything prior properly, you would have enough time to do everything that you would like to do rather than just dropping it all for the exams. I would strongly suggest to use university as a chance to improve yourself and set good habits that will carry you much more later on by the time you finish graduating. Well, how could you go about managing your time? Well, if you use a calendar like Google Calendar, you can go on there and you can set aside time for each activity by using a technique called time blocking, and this will allow you to just focus on that activity for each time slot that you dedicate to it. And one of the good things about this is once you set a routine for yourself, you can just stick with it. And this is something I kind of wish I had done beforehand because my time management sucked. I was doing exams at the last minute, I was even having to resit exams, and I didn't really achieve the best grades I could have because time management was something that I really lacked. So make sure you're able to manage your time properly. The fifth point I want to talk to you about is networking with others. Now, networking is more than just speaking with other people. There's a lot that goes on behind it. One example is you're learning how to communicate very well with people. Now, aside university, learning to communicate with people is very, very important. And one of the ways you're able to secure your job interviews or get your dream job or close business deals, everything comes down with how you communicate with people and how you're able to persuade them. Use every chance that you have at university interacting with other students and professionals, and use it as a chance to focus on really trying to speak the best you can, using the right words and just overall boosting your speaking skills. It would carry you a long way. And another benefit of this is it can potentially open up future prospects for yourself. If you left university but you've made connections with quite a few people, you can always ask them and they could potentially refer you to someone else. So that's another way that speaking with other people can help you. And in general, building good rapport with people and always being able to learn something from someone is a very important skill to have as well, and you want to welcome it wherever you go. And again, when I was at university, I really didn't network with anyone. I was going there for one specific purpose, which was studying. I'd be alone most of the time and then I would just leave. And if I went back, I would spend so much more time talking with other people and just learning how to do, good communication skills and speaking with them properly. So try your best when you are at university to speak with as many people as possible. Now, the sixth point is about taking care of your health, and this is quite underrated. University can be a really stressful time, and if you are not taking care of your mental health, a lot more things will start to impact you, and to the point where you're not able to study properly and you're not able to retain the knowledge that you need for the exams. If you're doing things in a timely manner, it's okay to rest and just not give yourself things to stress about. University is meant to be an enjoyable experience, and the last thing you want is, by not taking care of your health properly, things are starting to bother you or you're not able to live that experience to the fullest. Well, what's one way you can overcome this? I would strongly recommend to you to engage in a healthy lifestyle. Start eating good foods with proper nutrition, because there's a whole science out there on this, that there are certain foods out there that help with your brain health, they allow you to sleep properly, they keep your body in good condition. And these are the types of foods that you would like to incorporate into your lifestyle. And coupled with this, if you start working out, it will really help you to not only start seeing changes in your body, but this will impact you so much positively, mentally, and you will start to see yourself a lot more confidently. And that's just another great benefit of indulging in a healthy lifestyle. Which leads me on to my final point, which is enjoy your time at university. Your time at university will pass by very fast. 3 to 4 years will go by and you'll be wondering where all of that time went. The last thing you want to do is regret the time that you had there because you didn't spend it in proper ways. Now, all of these tips that I have given you, you should just try to use them and enjoy your time at university. Make some good friends, make some good memories with people, and just get into any other things like sports or societies to make the university experience much more enjoyable for you. As much as university is about working hard, it is also designed by you having as much fun as possible so that you can reach your goals in a much more enjoyable way. We often in life tend to get caught up in worrying about the end goal and not really prioritizing the situation that we're in. So the best thing you can do is focus on the present moment, enjoy it, live it to the fullest, and make sure sure you're still plodding away at your goals. So those are 7 things I wish I knew before I started university here. And if you did find this video helpful, be sure to like and subscribe to it. And you can also take a look at this over here where I go over some of the mistakes that students make while they are at university here. And if you think you would find that helpful, then you can head over there. Until the next time, I wish you the best, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.